WhyGuru, 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 WhyGuru. वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह. Sangat ji, we're very blessed to be here in the century of the King of Kings, Tan Tan Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. We had a little bit of a change this time. Decided to do a bit of Kirtan impromptu. Thought the vibes were so good, so might as well just join in. So it felt really nice. Thank you for joining in. Sangat ji, we're in the month of Katak now. So that's the 8th month in the Sikh calendar. So with Maharaj's Kirpa and the love and support of the Sangat, your encouragement, your motivation, your commitment, your love truly has gotten us this far. We wouldn't be able to get here without you. We were going to give up a long time ago. That's the truth. But it was you, the Sangat, that kept us going. And because of you, the Sangat, and Maharaj's Kirpa that brought us all together, we're able to come here, listen to Gurbani, sing the praises of WhyGuru, contemplate upon Gurbani, change our lives for the better is because of you, the Sangat, the Sadh Sangat, and Maharaj, Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So Sangat Ji, the month of Katak is roughly between mid-October to mid-November. And this month marks the transition from autumn to about early winter in Punjab. And what is so special about this month? Why are we gathered here today to talk about the month of Katak? Well, in Katak, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, they teach us that true transformation begins within. True transformation, true change within us begins through righteous actions and personal responsibility. What does that mean? That means we don't go around blaming others for our sadness. We don't go around pointing fingers at others for the problems in our lives. Rather, we take accountability for our actions. We take ownership of our actions. That marks the beginning of true transformation within us. So in this month, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, they talk about the importance of Sangat. How beautiful is that? Without your love, without your support, without your commitment, we wouldn't be here today. Sangat is the company that we keep. It's up to us what kind of company we want to keep in our life. There's two types of companies. One that will uplift us, motivate us, and encourage us. That's you for us. Another type of company is the one that drains our energy, brings us down, makes us full of negativity. It's up to us now what we want to do, what path we want to take, where we want to go in life. Sangat Ji, this transitions beautifully to a Sikhi of Bhai Vir Singh Ji. Does anybody here know about Bhai Vir Singh Ji? Raise your hand. 2 people. That's pretty good. Did you know about Bhai Vir Singh Ji? Okay, a little bit. That's fine. I'll take that. Has anybody here read the books Nanak, Guru Nanak Chamatkar, Kalgita Chamatkar? I'm very impressed by the birthday girl here. It's Prabjot's birthday today. Happy birthday. So Guru Nanak Chamatkar and Kalgita Chamatkar were 2 books that were written by Bhai Vir Singh Ji. And Bhai Vir Singh Ji were not an ordinary person. They were a gem of the Sikh Panth. They wrote so eloquently, so beautifully that the Sakhiyan, so Guru Nanak Chamatkar the book has a Sakhiyan of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and Kalgita Chamatkar talks about the Sakhiyan of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. And they wrote these Sakhiyan so beautifully that it feels like when we're reading them that we're actually there. We often say, oh, I wish I could go back in time. When Maharaj were around, I really want to experience that. Well, actually, Maharaj sorted that out as well. We can do that. We can experience it if we read the Sakhiyan of our gurus. And Bhai Vir Singh Ji, they wrote them so beautifully that it feels like we're actually there in real time. So if you get a chance, they're available online, these books. Do read them and do check them out. So we're going to talk about Bhai Vir Singh Ji today. We're going to look at one incident from their life that talks about the importance of Sadh Sangat. So Bhai Vir Singh Ji would normally sit in the parikrama of Sachkhand Sri Harmandir Sahib. How many of you have been there? Sachkhand Sri Harmandir Sahib, almost all of you. Almost all of you. That's really good. So Bhai Vir Singh Ji would often sit in the parikrama of Sachkhand Sri Harmandir Sahib, and they would listen to Kirtan, just like we had Kirtan playing today. It was so beautiful that they would be completely absorbed in the Kirtan. They wouldn't even flinch. They would be sitting for hours upon hours, and they wouldn't even move around. And they would be so absorbed, so connected to that Kirtan, that they wouldn't even feel the need to even move around. They were so connected. So one day, it's always that one day, a person from the Sangat came and sat next to them. And that person just sat next to them for maybe like a minute or two. And he started moving around, sade godde dukhdeya, sadi lutta dukhdiya. I move around all sorts, so that's okay. He started moving around, flinching around. It's just been 2 minutes, and he's already moving around. And Bhai Vir Singh Ji, they open their eyes and they look around and they see this person who just came, sat here for about 2 minutes, and he's already moving around all sorts. And a thought came in Bhai Vir Singh Ji's mind. That thought was very deadly. That thought was, look at me. I've been sitting here for hours, and he just came 2 minutes ago and he can't even sit, listen to Guru's Kirtan. That one thought was so dangerous that it multiplied over time. He, Bhai Vir Singh Ji, looked down upon someone. They judged someone. In their ego, they looked down upon that person that was sitting next to them, and that led to their downfall, to the point that in the next few weeks or even the next months, they just couldn't sit down, to the point that they couldn't even focus even for 5 minutes. They were distracted all the time now. Bhai Vir Singh Ji were very blessed though. They were blessed with the company of saintly beings. So they went to their Nana Ji's house, where there would be, saintly beings coming and visiting their Nana Ji, their maternal grandfather. They started chatting with the saint, with the Sant Mahapurakh, and they said, this is what's happening to me. I was able to sit and absorbed in Kirtan, so connected, feeling so good and peaceful inside. That peace is gone now. I don't know what's going on. I can't do that anymore. I cannot sit down for even 5 minutes now, without being distracted. What's going on with me? So the saintly being, they said, how about this? How about you find an isolated space in the parikrama somewhere where there's nobody around you. You just sit in isolation and build your bhakti back up. Do your penance and build it back up. So they said, okay, they followed the advice. They sat down. It took them a few months, but then they got back up there where they would feel connected and not be distracted, and they were feeling good about themselves, feeling peaceful inside. And then, lo and behold, knock, knock, who's there? Another thought came through, and they said, oh, this is great. I don't need Sangat anymore. I can do this by myself. Look, I'm back to where I started. I don't need Sangat anymore. I'm fine now. And guess what happened again? They had a downfall again. They were distracted. They couldn't focus anymore. They couldn't focus on the Kirtan anymore or in Gurbani anymore. So they went back to the saintly being and they said, okay, what's going on? And the saintly being said, okay, how about this? You try this now. You go back to the parikrama. You sit down with within the Sadh Sangat, but this time try not to be distracted. Just try to focus on Gurbani that's being sung. So they go back, they sit down, and slowly over time, over months, they build that back up again. Now Sangat Ji, like I said, Bhai Vir Singh Ji were no ordinary person. If we make a mistake, even one thought of ego that comes within us, it throws us off for years upon years. Sometimes it even takes lifetimes to get back to where we were originally. That ananda, that peace that we felt originally. I don't know if you guys have experienced this in your life before, but you must have had experiences of WhyGuru at some point in your life, and that feeling that you had that felt so good. One thought of ego, one thought of anger just demolishes it to the point that it takes really long time for us to get back up there again. Bhai Vir Singh Ji were so blessed that they were able to build their Bhagati up within months. That's how blessed they were. So then they went back to the saintly being and they said, okay, I'm fixed now, but what had happened to me? What was going on? So the Sant Mahapurakh, they said, well, when you sat in the parikrama and you looked down upon the person that was sitting next to you, ego came into your mind, you were judging that person, and whatever that person, whatever judgment you were passing on that person, that ended up coming to you. You were judging that person for not being able to sit even for 2 minutes. Guess what? You ended up being that person that couldn't sit for 5 minutes, 2 minutes. That judgment came back to you. What goes around comes around. They said, okay, that makes sense. But what happened the next time when I sat alone by myself? What happened then? They said, a thought of ego came into your mind that you can do this on your own, that you don't need the Sadh Sangat, that you're fine on your own. And they said that led to your destruction, that led to your downfall, because when we're in the Sadh Sangat, we don't say I, we say we, because we're a collective unit. It's all of us together, working together. That's why we said this Katha Kirtan is just not possible by myself and just, my husband here. We cannot do this. We've already admitted that. In the Sadh Sangat, we're a collective unit. We say we instead of I. Our ego calms down when we come into the Sadh Sangat. Then when our ego calms down, then we're able to understand what Gurbani is telling us. Then we're able to feel Gurbani. It's not just, sitting here and listening what Guru Granth Sahib Ji is saying. You feel it inside of you. There's something that moves within you. Har aradhana jana re. I don't know how to take your name. I don't know how to chant your name, WhyGuru. That's the truth. कोई कहंदे अद्दा करो, कई कहंदे अद्दा करो, कई कहंदे अद्दा गुरबाणी पढ़ो, कई कहंदे अद्दा सिमरन करो. पर सच्ची गल है महाराज, मैनू आउंदा नहीं, मैनू कुछ भी नहीं आउंदा. ना मैनू गुरबाणी पढ़नी आउंदी आ, ना मैनू सिमरन करना आउंदा. You know what the funny thing is, मैनू सेवा भी नहीं करनी आउंदी, मैनू कुछ भी नहीं आउंदा. हर आराधना जाना ने मैं किद्दां तुहाडा नां ध्यावां, मैनू आउंदा ही नहीं. मैनू बस एक चीज़ आउंदी आ, हर हर गुर गुर करता रे. मैनू बस इन्ना ही पता कि मैं तुहाडा नां ध्याई जावां, हर हर करी जावां, गुर गुर करी जावां. बस मैनू इन्ना ही आउंदा आ, मैनू होर कुछ नहीं आउंदा. And guess what? This is the biggest thing. That's all we need in life. Bhai Vir Singh Ji, they understood that if they're not within the Sadh Sangat, their ego is going to flare up to the point that they're not going to be able to connect with WhyGuru. They're not going to be able to realize their true self. They said, okay, so then what happened when I went back to the parikrama, sat within the Sadh Sangat? What happened then? And the Sant Mahapurakh, they said, well, you took a beating. You came like a child comes to their parents, and you said to Maharaj, I have failed here within the Sangat. I failed on my own. Now I'm back. Please save me. All I want to do is be with you. That's all I care about. All I want to do is har har gur gur karta re. मैं और कुछ नहीं करना. मैं बस तुहाडा नाम ध्याना है. Please forgive me and please help me so that I don't fall again in life. That's the ardas that we need to do. Sadh Sangat is very important because without Sadh Sangat, we will fall. We need someone. We need Maharaj's kirpa to bring us to the path, but we need someone to monitor us. We need someone that can keep us accountable for our actions. That's what the Sangha does for us. They look after us. They hold us accountable for our actions, and we need that to live consciously. So Sangha Ji, it's all the game of the mind. It's all about the mind. And Gurbani talks about this as well. Man, bach, karam. Man meaning mind. Bach meaning whatever comes out of our mouth, that becomes our karam. So what does that mean? Whatever we're thinking at the level of our mind, whatever we're thinking, whatever thoughts we're having in our mind, they eventually come out from our mouth. Whatever we're thinking in our mind comes out from our mouth. And whatever we're saying, whatever we're verbalizing, we act upon those things. Right? So let's say we're thinking negatively about someone. We think so negatively about that person. And when that person comes in front of us, how likely are we to say something out of anger to them. Because we have built that story up in our mind so much, repetition over and over again, that when that person comes in front of us, the one that we're angry with, we're likely to say something hurtful, isn't it? When we say something hurtful to them, then that becomes our karam, becomes our action. We're verbalizing our thoughts, and when we act on our thoughts, they become our karam, they become our actions. So in this month, Maharaj, they talk about karam. They say, Katak karam kamavane dosana kahu jog. Katak meaning the month of Katak. Karam means doing actions. Kamavane means to do actions, to carry them out. Dos means to blame. Na means not. Kahu means anyone. Jog means appropriate or justified. So it is not appropriate, it is not justified to blame others for your own actions. So whatever actions we carry out is our responsibility. We are the ones that are accountable for those actions. It is unjustified, it is not appropriate to point fingers at others for our actions, for our sadness, or for the problems in our lives. And we often see this in families, in Punjabi households, where parents are putting their children down and they're saying, you're the source of my unhappiness. Tu changi tarah padda nahi, tu changi tarah paddi nahi, you don't have good grades, you don't have a good career, you don't have a good job, you're not married yet. And the list goes on. And they put us down so much. But the truth is, Katak karam kamamane, dosana kahu jog. It's nobody's fault. Whose fault is it? It's our fault. Whatever actions we're doing, we are the ones accountable for them, nobody else. So, Maharaj is saying that whatever karam we do, it's like sowing seeds. And one day, those seeds will flourish, they will grow. Just like Bhai Vir Singh Ji, what did they do? They sowed the seed of ego, of judgment. And what ended up happening? That seed multiplied to the point that, one, they were distracted and they couldn't sit down even for a few minutes and listen to their guru. And two, whatever they were judging that other person on, that started happening to them. So that's what happens when we judge others. That's what happens when we slander others. That's what happens when we gossip about others. All of those things that we're saying about others, that ends up happening to us. What goes around comes around. You reap what you sow. So we do karam on the outside, but those karams, those actions are being recorded on the inside. There's an internal camera inside of us that is recording each and every single thing that we're doing in life. Whatever we're thinking, whatever actions we're performing, whatever we're thinking about someone behind their back, whatever it is, everything is being recorded. And everything is what we are accountable for. Why do you think it's so hard to unify with WhyGuru again? This is why. We're so busy slandering others, maybe not even consciously, maybe subconsciously. We're so busy talking about falana timkada, and you know how we say it, we label it like, nahi, in India thodi na. This is the truth. This is the truth about that person. Unne edda kita. This is the truth. In India thodi na. Je duje bande nu madi ji sharam aa jave kahoge bhen ji bhaji nindya na karo, they're like, and you're like, no, this is not nindya, this is not slandering, this is the truth. This is how we justify slandering in this modern world now. ਇੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਈ ਹੈ. And guess what? Whatever you're slandering about is going to come to you as well. And that's why we're still separated. That's why we still haven't realized our true self yet. ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਗੱਦੀ ਗੇੜ 'ਚ ਫਸੇ ਹੋਏ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਿਕਲ ਪਾ ਰਹੇ. And Maharaj is saying, ਦੋਸ ਨਾ ਕਾਹੂ ਜੋਗ, ਹੋਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਦੋਸ ਨਾ ਦਿਓ, ਦੱਦਾ ਦੋਸ ਨਾ ਦਿਓ ਕਿਸੇ, ਦੋਸ ਕਰਮਾ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਜੋ ਮੈਂ ਕੀਆ ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਪਾਇਆ, ਦੋਸ ਨਾ ਦੀਜੇ ਅਵਰਜਨਾ. ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਦੋਸ ਦੇਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ, ਇਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਆ. Don't point fingers at others. If anything, point fingers at yourself. That's the hardest thing to do because our ego doesn't let us do that. Doesn't let us point fingers at ourselves. That's what we need to do. So for the month of Katak, Maharaj are telling us how to do karam. They're saying carry out good deeds. Je karam karne hi hai, fir change karam karo. Do good deeds, do good things for yourself and do good things for others. Do seva with bhavana, with love, with compassion. That's what's going to count. And that is what's going to get written down on the inside. And the question then arises, why is it that we're suffering so much in life? Why is it that jithe vi dekho nanak dukhiya sab sansar? Maharaj ne gal hi mukati. They're like, there's nobody happy. Koi khush hai hi nahi zindagi de vich. There's nobody happy in the world. We are happy maybe momentarily. It's getting a bit warmed up now. Hun vichar challe changi tarah. Getting a bit warmed up now. Maharaj ne gal hi mukati, kehne nanak dukhiya sab sansar. Sara sansar hi dukhi hai. Why? Why are we suffering in so much pain? Why are we suffering through anxiety, through depression, all of these illnesses? Why do we have them? Maharaj tell us straight up. In the Gurbani they say, Parmesar de bhulliyan vyapan sabbe rog. Jadoo ਅਸੀਂ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਰੋਗ ਲੱਗਣ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ. What does that mean? We're suffering because we're asleep. ਅਸੀਂ ਸੁੱਤੇ ਪਏ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਗਦੇ ਥੋੜੀ ਨਾ. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੁੱਤੇ ਹੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ. If we were awake, if we were conscious in every single moment, ਫਿਰ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਬਣ ਗਈ ਸੀ, ਫਿਰ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ problem ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ. And that's what Simran does for us. That's what Gurbani does for us. It awakens us to each and every single moment and tells us to be present in each and every moment. Because that's what we're not doing. ਅਸੀਂ ਸੁੱਤੇ ਪਏ ਹਾਂ. We're suffering because we're asleep. And we're not living, we're just surviving. We're in survival mode. ਕੰਮ ਤੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਆ, ਨਿਆਣਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਂਭਣਾ ਆ, have to get good education, have to, do X, Y, Z. We're just surviving. We're not living. We're not living in the present moment. We're not enjoying life. We're not appreciating the littlest things in our lives. And because we're asleep, we've forgotten our existence. WhyGuru. We've forgotten who we are. We've forgotten our true self because we're asleep. And what does forgetting WhyGuru look like in our day-to-day life? Let's look at that. Forgetting WhyGuru looks like losing patience, becoming frustrated left, right, and center, becoming angry at others, forgetting that light of God exists within them as well. We break each other's hearts, forgetting that WhyGuru resides in that very heart that you're breaking. That's what it looks like when we forget WhyGuru. Worrying constantly about finances, about future, kids' future excessively. It's okay to worry about those things because we need to do something about it. But excessively, forgetting that WhyGuru is the provider. WhyGuru is the one that's giving us everything. That at the end of the day, we will be fine. Give yourself up to WhyGuru. Not being thankful for the littlest things in our lives, we forget to be grateful for what we have. That is us living our lives asleep. We're not alive. We're just sleeping. And because of our busy schedules, because we're so busy scrolling on social media day in, day out, that's all we're doing. We're distracted. And our awareness from WhyGuru is gone. We're not living in the present moment. And what happens then if we're not living in the present moment, and if we're just thinking about negative things in our lives, then we're stuck with what's right, what's wrong. Oh, fulane ne mere naal edda kita, that wasn't fair. Or this is fair, this is unfair. We're stuck in doing those things in life. We're quick to label situations in our lives as fair, unfair, right, or wrong. Having hatred towards someone, full of negativity. And what happens when we're full of negativity? That gets projected onto our body. ਫਿਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਰੀਰਕ ਰੋਗ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ. You know that scientists have accepted that trauma is stored in our body. Can you believe that? That's amazing, isn't it? I mean, it sucks, but that trauma gets stored in our body. That whatever we're thinking at the level of the mind, it gets projected onto our body. ਫਿਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਗ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਨੇ. Whatever mental illnesses we're going through, depression, anxiety, they get projected onto our body in the form of diseases. Like there's so many different diseases. Let's say we're angry all the time. What's going to happen to our blood pressure? It's going to rise. And what happens when our blood pressure rises over a prolonged period of time? We get heart diseases. Whenever we're in stress mode continuously for a prolonged period of time, what happens? Diabetes. It's a no-brainer, Sangat ji. It's really a no-brainer. Whatever we're thinking at the level of our mind is going to come out in our body. And that is because ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, ਜਿਹੜੇ 5 ਵਿਕਾਰ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਕਾਮ, ਕ੍ਰੋਧ, ਲੋਭ, ਮੋਹ, ਅਹੰਕਾਰ, they attack us. They influence us. Under their influence, ਸਾਡਾ BP ਉੱਤੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ, cholesterol ਉੱਤੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ. Because of anger, you can imagine, I don't need to put 2 and 2 together. You're very smart, the Sangat. But this is what happens. ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, we get all sorts of diseases. The biggest bad karm we can do in our life is to forget WhyGuru. ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੀ ਆ ਨਾ, ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਕਰੋ. Remember WhyGuru in each and every moment. It doesn't mean that you sit down and start, in the middle of the road or something, and you're like, I need to remember WhyGuru, WhyGuru, WhyGuru. That's not what it means. It means you're feeling grateful for everything. Look at we went out in the park just over the weekend. I'm not going to name names before everybody gets, embarrassed, but you know who you are. You know who you are. So we went to the park and we saw the trees. They were so beautiful and the leaves were changing color. And we ended up like hugging the tree. We're like, wow, this feels so good. It felt so grounding, so amazing, so calming. And we're like, our life just paused just for a few seconds and it felt amazing. Imagine living in the present moment all the time. How amazing would that be? That's what it means to be one with WhyGuru. Because WhyGuru is timeless. WhyGuru is not in the past. WhyGuru is not in the future. WhyGuru is in the present moment. That's where we need to be. So Sangat Ji, what karam then do we need to do? And Maharaj, they tell us as well. So kichh kar jit mail na lagay. Mal means dirt. Mal means filth. What is that filth? So, when we shower, who here, first of all, showers every single day? I hope all the hands go up. It's a no-brainer question. I just want to ask just for fun. Okay. Thank you to those that participated. Okay, so what happens if we don't shower every single day? Yeah, I get stinky, sludgy nose. We get stinky. What else happens? If we don't shower every single day for, let's say, a month, what's going to happen to us? You get all sorts of different diseases, skin disease, different types of diseases, isn't it? So then, how is it that we're letting our mind go free like that? Why are we not showering our mind with Gurbani, with Simran every single day? What is happening to our mind then? You admitted yourself, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ shower ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਫਿਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਰੋਗ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਸਰੀਰਕ ਰੋਗ, and then it affects our mentality as well. ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਧੋਂਦੇ ਪਏ? Why are we not cleaning our mind every single day? With Simran, with Gurbani, with Seva, with Sadh Sangat. That's what the problem is. Parmesar de pullya vyapan sabbe rog. That's what the problem is. So Maharaj is saying, eho je karm karo, jit mail na lagay. Jide naal mail na lage. Kedi mail? Vikaran di mail. The mal, the dirt of anger, of jealousy, of slandering, of gossiping, these impurities that attack the mind, when we come into the Sadh Sangat, we have that barrier, that protection, that tal, that protects us from all of these things. Then we're saving our mind. Jit mal na lagay. Har kirtan meh eho man jagay. When we listen to the Kirtan, the praises of Gurbani, the praises of our Guru, the praises of WhyGuru, then our mind awakens. Asi uth janne ha. We're not asleep anymore. We become alive. What does it mean to awaken? We become alive to each and every moment. That's what it means to waken up. So Sangat Ji, Maharaj go on to say, Ve mukh hoye Ram te lagan janam vijog. This is amazing. Maharaj is saying, Vemukh. When we turn our back towards our Guru, then what happens? Lagan janam vijog. We're separated for lifetimes. Lifetimes upon lifetimes. What does it mean to become Vemukh? It means us not having faith in our Guru. It means us not following Gurbani. It means us not following the teachings of Gurbani, not living the teachings of Gurbani. When we follow our own mind, our manmat, we spend lifetimes and lifetimes just separated from WhyGuru. Because there's nobody to guide us. Jinne sanu guidance deni sigi, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਿੱਠ ਕਰਕੇ ਚਲੇ ਗਏ. The one that was going to guide us, we turned our back towards them, our Guru. Who's going to help us now? There's nobody else that's going to help us. Gur bin Kaur andar, Gur bin samajh na aave. Gur bin Kaur andar. Without our Guru, we're just stuck in a pit of darkness, that darkness of negativity. There's nobody out there to get us out except for our Guru. Gur bin samajh na aave. Sanu samajh nahi aunda ki kariye zindagi de vich. What are we here to do? What do we do? If we're in a situation, what do we do? People can advise us so much, but even they're limited. Our Guru is limitless. There is no limit on our Guru. There is no limit on the wisdom of Gurbani. Gur bin surtana siddh, Gur bin muktana pave. Without our Guru, we're not going to reach that peace. And without our Guru, we're not going to attain liberation. We need our Guru. But if we turn our backs towards our Guru, then it's our fault. Then we're at the losing end. And what does it look like when we turn our backs towards our Guru? And this isn't something that, is happening now. It has happened in the past as well. Who here has been to Sri Anandpur Sahib? Raise your hand. I haven't been, so it'd be nice to go. Very good. Who here has checked out you've been to Anandpur? Oh, that's good. I'm the only one then. Okay. So who here has been to the Anandgarh Kila, the Gurdwara Sahib Anandgarh Kila, the fort of Anandpur Sahib? Okay, very good. So Anandgarh Kila is known as Gurdwara Kila Anandgarh Sahib, and it was a secure fort that was built by Guru Gobind Singh Ji themselves. And it was a defense system to not let anybody in, without permission obviously, not let anybody in. And it was the system, the fort that was built, it was built by Guru Gobind Singh Ji themselves. And the defense system was so strong that the Khalsa, can you imagine, like the Khalsa, they're just standing there, barsha bhad ke prabhu, jeda aanda hona hi dar janda hona, that we're not going to breach the barrier here, that nobody had the power, nobody had any say in going inside of Sri Anandpur Sahib without the hukam, without the command of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Nobody could breach that barrier. That's how strong the Khalsa was. Even when the Sakha of Chamkaur Sahib took place, it was Guru Gobind Singh Ji that left Sri Anandpur Sahib themselves. Nobody was able to even get past the defense system of the mighty Khalsa. That's how strong the Khalsa is. The Khalsa is unbreachable. The Khalsa is Akal Purakh ki Fauj. It's the Fauj of Akal Purakh themselves. Nobody can breach that barrier. So this Anandpur Sahib Kila is served as a military center, a spiritual center for the Khalsa. And the Hill Raje at that time, the Hill Raje, the Hill Kings, they were frustrated. They wanted to breach the barrier. They wanted to get into the city of Sri Anandpur Sahib. They wanted to, conquer that city, but they weren't able to get through. So the Raje, they were just frustrated. I know there's a lot going on around us, Sangaji, but just please try to focus, because this is a really important part of our history. And the more focus we have, the more focus I will have in telling this amazing Sakhi. So this fort was unbreachable. And the Hill Raje, they were trying everything they could. They sent their army, but nobody could get through. The Khalsa were just so strong that nobody could get through. So what did they do then? The Hill Raje, the Hill Kings, they sent an elephant that was intoxicated. They intoxicated an elephant and they sent them in. This elephant, now imagine, wearing a really heavy armor, and this huge elephant, he's swaying left and right, and he's intoxicated, he doesn't know what's going on, and he's destroying literally everything that is coming in his path. He's trampling over people, trampling over things, and he's destroying everything that is coming in his path. And the Khalsa are standing there strong. They're not flinching, they're not moving. They're asking Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, tell us what we need to do. Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, don't worry. Je ona ne hathi bhejya ya, then I have an elephant as well. They said, Duni Chand, they said to Duni Chand, ja, hathi nu maar ke aa. Win over this elephant. But Duni Chand was someone that didn't have faith in their Guru. He was a Vemukh. He turned his back towards his Guru. What did he do? When Guru Gobind Singh Ji asked him to go, he turned around and he ran away. He fled because he didn't have that faith in his Guru. He ran away, and as he was running away, he was climbing over a wall, and at the bottom when he was going to jump, there was a snake. That snake bit him and he died. Now he's separated for so many lifetimes. But who stepped in instead? Bhai Vir Singh Ji, just an average guy, not someone that is bulky or anything, just an average guy, average height. He said, Maharaj, bless me. Bless me so I can go conquer this elephant. Maharaj, give me your blessings. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, put your hand upon my head and give me your blessings so that I can go conquer this elephant. Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, Ja putra ja, enu jit ke aa. They gave Nagini Barsha a spearhead, serpent head spear to Bhai Vir Singh Ji. They said, Ela, te ja, te hathi to jit ke aa. They gave this Nagini Barsha. Bhai Vir Singh Ji is getting up on the horse. They jump on top of the horse. They're making their way towards this hathi, this elephant, who is swaying left and right, intoxicated, destroying everything in its path. Bhai Vir Singh Ji are very focused. They're very concentrated. They know exactly what they're doing. They have the thappada of Guru Gobind Singh Ji upon their head. They said, Ja tu mere wal hai, ta kya moh chanda. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, je tusi mere wal hai, mainu kuch chinta karan di lod nahi hegi. Je tu mere wale hai Kalgitar Pasha, nothing can touch me ever in my life. They said, Kalgitar Pasha, tu mere naal hai, tu mainu thappada ditta, tu mainu Nagini Barsha ditta. You gave me the strength to fight this elephant that is so massive. You are with me. I have nothing to worry about. They're making their way. They're riding the horse. They're charging towards the elephant. The elephant is coming towards Bhai Vir Singh Ji. Bhai Vir Singh Ji get up on the horse, stand up on the horse, they're holding the Nagini Barsha, and they throw it straight towards the elephant, hits the armor, pierces through the armor, goes straight through the forehead. The elephant is shocked. The elephant is wounded. He doesn't know what hit him. He's panicking. What does he do? He turns around. He starts killing the enemy instead. Ja tu mere wal hai, ta kya moh chanda. Je assi apne Guru nu edda kahiye every single day, then what problem are we going to have in our lives? I'm not saying that we're never going to have problems in our lives. We would just have the strength to fight those problems. We'll have the strength to not be influenced by those problems. We'll have the strength to overcome those problems in our lives. Ja tu mere wal hai. If you're with me, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, then I have nothing to worry about. That's what Bhai Vir Singh Ji said. They had faith in their Guru. They knew that. They trusted their Guru. They knew that if my Guru places his hand upon my head, I will be fine. Sangat Ji, Maharaj se khin meh kode hoye gaye jitade maya pog. All of these worldly attachments, all these worldly enjoyments, these pleasures, they're sweet at first, but khin meh kode hoye gaye. In just within an instant, you know how long it takes for our eyes to just blink? That millisecond, khin meh kode hoye gaye, they became bitter. In one moment, our life felt abundant, but in another moment, our life feels empty without the remembrance of WhyGuru. Have you ever noticed? ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ, ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ, ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਾਇਆ ਦੇ ਮੋਹ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਨੇ ਆ, ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ? How is your life like? Very sad, isn't it? ਐਦਾਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿੰਦਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ. It feels like we're not even alive. That's what it means to be living. When we live in the remembrance of WhyGuru, we are alive. Even though we're facing problems, even though we're facing hardships, but we're alive. On the inside, we're living. We're living in the hukam of WhyGuru. Vich na koi kar sakya kitha, kis tha roveh roj. There's nobody, when we become Vemukh, there's nobody to help us. There's no vichola that's going to help both solve problems between both parties. Sada jehड़ा vichola hai, oh Guru Granth Sahib Ji ne. ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਵੇਮੁਖ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਤਾਂ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਸੋਲਵ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ. There's nobody to cry out to when we become Vemukh to our Guru. Sangat Ji, there's so many people out there that live in depression for years. They live in sadness for years because it feels so familiar. It feels so good to be sulking in sadness. It feels so good to just be staying in bed and not wanting to get out. But there's no point of feeling sorry for ourselves. It's the response to suffering. It's the conscious decision of wanting to get out of that situation and growing is what matters. Because who do we go out and who do we cry out to? We're going to come to our Guru, isn't it? We ask our Guru, please help me get out of this situation, help me get out of this pit of darkness and help me grow. Change my perspective, change my thoughts so I feel better. Without our Guru, nothing works out in our life. Sangat ji Maharaj se kita kichu na hovei likhya tur sanjog. Kita kichu na hovei. The union with WhyGuru or separation from WhyGuru is not in our hands. It's all up to WhyGuru. Sade actions, our effort is not going to count here, doesn't mean anything here. Our union with WhyGuru and our separation from WhyGuru is already written, it's pre-written, it's already been decided. Sanjog vijog doi kar chalavahe lekhe avahe pag. That sanjog, the one that unifies us, unification with WhyGuru. Vijog, the separation from WhyGuru. Doi kar chalavahe. WhyGuru is the one looking after both of these things. Lekhe avahe pag. That it's pre-written already. We have no control over this. But it goes to say that it is possible to change what is written. Only our Guru, and there's no difference between Guru Granth Sahib Ji and WhyGuru, just to clarify, our Guru has the ability to change the lines on our forehead, to change the fate on our forehead, the destiny on our forehead. Our Guru has the power to do that. Only through the blessings of our Guru and WhyGuru can that happen. That sanjog nahi likhe is janam de vich. If we do Ardas to Guru Granth Sahib Ji, sade sanjog likh do. If with Maharaj's kirpa, that is possible as well. Sangat ji, I was sort of not understanding, if everything is pre-written already, then what's the point of doing any actions? Has anybody thought of this before? Raise your hand. Je sara kuch likhya hi hai, then why bother with any actions? What is the hukam for us? First of all, let's look at that. What is the hukam for us? The hukam for us, the command for us, is written down in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So if nothing is in our control, all we can do is surrender to that hukam of WhyGuru. And what is that hukam? Is within Gurbani. And Gurbani tells us, get up at Amrit Vela, listen to Nitnem, do seva, come into the Sadh Sangat, don't slander, don't gossip. This is the hukam for us. If we don't listen to this hukam, if we don't accept this hukam, if we don't apply this hukam in our lives, then it's our fault. Ape beej, ape hi khaho. Whatever we sow is what we reap. You reap what you sow. And what is the consequence of us not following this hukam? Then Maharaj say, man mukha no phir janam hai nanak har paaye. That man mukha no phir janam hai. If we don't listen to this hukam, if we don't apply this hukam in our lives, then we're going to come back again and again. So coming back to the question, if everything is pre-written, then what's the point of doing any actions? This question is very disturbing because if we think in this way, then we're feeling very discouraged. We feel very powerless. Because our mindset is going to be like, oh, if it's meant to be, fir assi gurdwara jawange, je nahi likhya, then oh well, if we didn't go, then oh well, it wasn't written. It wasn't meant to be. It wasn't in our fate, in our destiny. Oh, if it's meant to be, if it's written, then I'll get up at Amrit Vela. But if I didn't get up, oh well, it wasn't written. It wasn't part of the fate or destiny. Then that's how it was meant to be. That's a very dangerous mindset to have because we're setting ourselves up to be lazy. That's what it is. We're saying that if it's meant to be, then it'll happen. If it doesn't, then it won't happen. But the truth is, Sangat ji, in this world, this is our karam bhumi. And karam bhumi kise karan kende. We're here to do actions. We have to make choices in our life. We have to make choices every minute. We have to make choices every second of our life. We have to put in effort to get somewhere, to get anything. If we say, "Sade agge hun tusi langar shakna hi hai," let's talk about langar. Hun aapa langar shakna hi hai. If you say that if it's meant to be, the food will come into my mouth somehow. If it doesn't come into my mouth, that, oh well, it wasn't meant to be, I'm not going to eat it. Does that make sense? No, right? We have to put in effort. We have to do some sort of action. We can't just say, oh, we're just going with the flow of life, I'll go wherever life takes me. No, we have to make choices. We have to put in effort to get somewhere. But whatever that destiny is, if we get there or not, it's up to WhyGuru. But we as Sikhs, we have to put in that effort. Get up at Amrit Vela, do Simran, do Nityanem. That's the effort that we're putting in. Whatever we get to the destination or not, that's up to WhyGuru to decide. It's not up to us to decide. Sanjog vijog, toy kar chalave, leke aave pag. It's up to WhyGuru if they're going to bless us with their mercy and unite us. It's up to WhyGuru. So, read something quite interesting that one of the Sangat members shared about destiny. They said life is like an instrument, and we've been given an instrument so that our body, our mind, our karmic load, our circumstances, they're all that instrument. We didn't choose the instrument, but we can choose what to do with that instrument. Meaning it's up to us whether we want to just put it aside and not play it at all, and not discover its true potential, or we can decide to pick it up and play it and learn to play that instrument. It's up to us to how well we play that instrument is up to us. So life is all about choices, all about decisions that we have to make. It's up to us how much effort we're going to make in this life, because Guru Granth Sahib Ji tell us quite clearly, they say, karmi apo apani ke neda ke dur. It's the actions that we do, karmi apo apani, our actions, ke neda. Based on those actions, if we do good actions, then we're neda, we're closer to WhyGuru, or we're dur, we're farther away from WhyGuru, but it depends on the actions that we do in this life. Maharaj say, vadbhagi mera prabh milai ta utrahe sab beog. What is the medicine to our pain? The medicine to our pain is only in God's hands. No one else can do anything. It's WhyGuru's mercy, WhyGuru's kirpa that can save us, give us the strength to overcome any hurdles, to overcome any challenges. And that happens through vadapag, through good fortune. And where do we get this good fortune? Within the Sadh Sangat. Within the Sadh Sangat, sitting in the presence of our Guru, that's where we get good fortune. That's where Maharaj bless us. And don't take this lightly. You coming willy-nilly into the, Gurdwara Sahib, sitting here in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. It took a lot of penance for you to be here today in the presence of the King of Kings, Guru Granth Sahib Ji. It's not something to take lightly. How often do we come to the Gurdwara Sahib? Once a week, once a month maybe, once a year? It takes a lot of penance, a lot of jap tap to be here in the presence of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Don't take this lightly. One of the best karams, one of the good karams that we can do in this life is to be sitting here in the presence of our Guru. And to get here, we must have done Ardas at some point in our lives. How do we do Ardas? What is the jugati? What is the technique to do Ardas? Guru Arjan Dev Ji, they tell us that as well. They say, Nanak ko prabh rakh lehe mere sahib bandi moch. We're saying, minu rakh lo. WhyGuru minu rakh lo. Mere to kuch nahi hunda. मैं किसे जोगा नहीं हैगा, मैं तेरे जोगा. Everybody's looking down upon me. I'm tired of feeling left out. I'm tired of feeling judged. I'm tired of being the one that judges others. I'm tired of being the one that slanders others. I'm tired of all this. Minu bacha lo, save me. Nanak ko prabh rakh lo, minu rakh lo, apne charnan de vich. Keep me in your sanctuary. Mere sahib bandi moch, my master. Bandi moch means the liberator of prisoners. We're all prisoners, by the way. We're all living in a jail. We're all living in a jail of our thoughts. Our thoughts are the ones that are making us prisoners. We're tied down in bondages. And what are those bondages? Our thoughts. the negativity in our lives, the constant negative chatter that we have in our lives, that is what's tying us down. The thoughts of us saying, oh, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, I'm not worthy enough, these thoughts, they limit us. That's the bondage that is tying us down. That's the jail that we're in. And we're saying to Maharaj, please free us from this prison. Maharaj going to say, Katak hove sadh sang, bin se sabhe soch. So what is the cure to our anxiety? The cure to our anxiety is within the Sadh Sangat. Here we feel uplifted. Jehdi soch sanu tang kardi si, jehdi soch ਸਾਡੀ anxiety ਦਾ ਕਾਰਨ ਬਣਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ, ਉਹ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਬਦਲ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ. That's the power of being in the presence of our Guru. Our Guru, Gurbani, changes the thought process that was causing depression, the thought process that was leading to anxiety. Our Guru has the power to change that thought process completely and uplift us. That is why we're here today. Sangat ji, have you heard of your vibe attracts your tribe, or your tribe attracts your vibe? Raise your hand if you've heard of that phrase. Cool. The people that you keep around you will affect you in many ways, and that can happen subconsciously as well. So imagine that you're about to go out, and this is from like when you were teenagers, by the way. So imagine that you're about to go out, and your mom is doing tadka in the kitchen, and you're wearing this really nice, expensive jacket or coat, and you're about to, say bye to your mom. You go into the kitchen, your mummy changi tarah tadka la rahe ne. You're about to go into the kitchen, you go into the kitchen, and just to say bye, and that's it, bam. The tadke di smell tade jacket te aa gayi changi tarah. Then you're like going around finding cologne, finding perfume to like get rid of that smell. But no, we know this. Nothing can get rid of that smell of tadka. Once it's there, it's there. No matter how expensive your clothes are, it's done. Game over. What happened there? Did you have a choice? In the smell of tadka, nahi haje na aayo, haje na mere jacket te aayo, mainu 5 minute deo. Did you say that? Did you get a chance to do that? No. Whether you liked it or not, that smell stick to you. That's the effect of Sangat. If we're in good Sangat, that will stick to us. If you're in bad Sangat, that will stick to us as well. We have no choice in that. And Bhai Gurdas ji, they say, Vadiya kajjal kothdi moh kalak pariya. Vadiya means to enter. Kajjal means soot. Kothdi means a room. So a room full of soot. If we enter a room full of soot, our face that is clean, it's not going to be clean anymore. We're going to come out with a black face. It's going to attach to us. It's going to cling to us whether we like it or not. That's the effect of Sangat. When you go into a room and it's buzzing, you feel so good. You feel uplifted and you want to stay there. But when you go into a room that's full of negativity, you know that the vibe is off. Something is not right. And if we're in that room for a very long time, we're going to be affected negatively. That's the effect of Sangat. So, Sangat ji, depending on the company we keep, our mind is either blackened with negativity or it blossoms with positivity. Whatever company we choose to keep, it's our responsibility. It's going to be on us. We made that conscious decision to be in the company of those people. So make your decisions consciously and wisely. So, to wrap it up, Sangat ji, the key lessons that we learned for this month are: 1, take responsibility for your actions and stop blaming others for your actions, your sadness, your problems in your life. Number 2, choose your company wisely. Because whatever company we keep, it's bound to impact us subconsciously. Just like that smell of tadka, we had no choice. It stick to us whether we like it or not. Whatever company we keep, it's going to impact us whether we like it or not. So choose wisely. And lastly, don't give up. Do Ardas. Whenever you're feeling down, whenever you're feeling lost, don't give up. Do Ardas. Say to Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Ja tu mere wal hai, ta kya moh chanda. Everybody, let's say it together. Ja tu mere wal hai, ta kya moh chanda. Ja tu mere wal hai, ta kya moh chanda. Deo sajana sisliyan je hova sahib se umel. Please forgive me for all the mistakes that I've made. WhyGuru Ji ka khalsa, WhyGuru Ji ki fateh.